Happy Friday, all. I hope you're having a wonderful day thus far. So, today I wanted to talk about something that a lot of people don't discuss, and it's about eating disorders or bulimia, specifically bulimia, being, bulimic. I had a conversation yesterday with one of my workers that I work with at the pharmacy, right? And I just so happened to see her eating. She was eating some yogurt. So we just was having a regular conversation. And I was like, oh, I see you eating some yogurt. And she was like, yeah, because I'm trying to change my eating habits or whatever. She was like, I don't like the way I'm eating. And so I was having a conversation, with me and my boyfriend so we can change our eating habits. And I was like, oh, well, that's good. Because prior to that, I was telling her I changed my eating habits years ago as well. I changed my eating habits. I rarely eat anything, any meats anymore. I barely eat meats anymore. I am just usually just fruits and vegetables, pasta. And if I do eat meat, it may be only chicken and turkey. And I'm even finding that I'm not even eating that as much as I used to. So I was telling her that, some weeks ago. And then she was like, yeah, she was like, I'm doing it. She was like, because my mother, she's a hoarder and my mother suffers bulimia. And I was like, what? And I was shocked to hear that. And I was like, really? I said, you know what? I did too. And to be truthful, guys, she was the first person in my life that I told that to. And now I'm here, I'm telling it to you. I used to be bulimic. I used to overeat, and then purge and just get that stuff up out of my system. And I've always had an issue with my weight. And even though, I've never been heavy overweight, I'm thickly, I'm very curvaceous, I'm shapely, and I used to think that was a deformity. I used to think having hips was a deformity because my siblings didn't have it, my mother don't have it, I get my hips from my father's side of the family, and to be around most of my cousins and friends on my mother's side, and they didn't have hips, they were busty, but I was always small on the top, big on the bottom, big hips, big thighs, big booty. So I used to think that my hips, though, were a deformity. I didn't even know that those were called hips until I got older. And I used to be so insecure, wearing baggy jeans, big clothes and stuff to hide my hips because I really was that insecure about my body. And I didn't like my form, because it was, to me, deforming. And so we were talking about it, and I was shocked to hear that, she was like that about her mom, and that she said her mother's husband didn't even know all those years that was the case, and I was like, what? I said, that's a serious situation because a lot of people don't like to discuss it because, again, it's embarrassing and it's shameful, and you don't want nobody to be, judging you, condemning you, criticizing you, because you're already doing that to yourself, but without nobody having to do that with you or for you. So I was like, what? And when I was talking to her, I was so emotional. I was getting so teary-eyed and emotional. So is she, because, again, this is a serious, serious subject, and it's an uncomfortable topic because it's about, you're not healthy. It's a mental disorder. You have something going on psychologically in your mind. And I know for me, I feel like, because when I had my first son, the weight fell off me quickly, and I had, my first pregnancy was, smooth sailing, easy going. But when I had my second son, the weight didn't drop off so quickly, and I was feeling too heavy, and the weight, even though it wasn't a lot, it was the baby fat that was on me. The big belly, the belly still didn't go down yet. My thighs got even bigger. I didn't lose the weight as quickly as I did with my first son. And when I had my second son, I was so sickly throughout my whole entire pregnancy that I could not hold any food down during my second pregnancy. And the only thing that I was able to eat during my pregnancy was hot dogs. I only ate Nathan's hot dogs, bread, and soup. And every now and again, I would only be able to hold down some ginger ale. But every time I thought my hope, like I'm talking about from the time I was pregnant to the time I had my son, literally up until the time I had my son, I was so sick. Vomiting profusely, couldn't hold anything down, weak. I couldn't work. I couldn't do anything. You know, I was just so miserable throughout my pregnancy with my second son. And also, after I had him, I couldn't lose that weight. And I really believe that some of the sickness that I was not being able to hold anything down throughout my pregnancy with him, I believe that transcended over to after I had him. I believe that caused me to feel or to be bulimic, because I gained the weight. I didn't like what I looked like. I was insecure. My thighs were extra bigger. My body was extra bigger. And mind you, like I said, I'm small on the top and I'm curvaceous on the bottom. I have big hips, big booty and thighs, right? And you know, I have an hourglass shape, right? But I had a belly this time, and I'm not used to having a belly. I didn't never have a belly, so I was like, I don't like this belly. So I would overeat, I would binge eat, and then I would go and throw it all up. And I was doing that for a long time, and nobody even knew. And everybody kept saying, "Oh, you look so good. After you had your son, you look so good." And I'm looking at them like, why y'all lying? I really thought people were lying to me. I thought, you know, people were being mean to me, playing some evil type of trick on me. I was like, oh no, y'all are crazy. I was like, I was like, I'm fat. And they would be like, why you say that? And I was like, I am fat. And I was like, look at me. And I would be so upset and miserable. And they would try to cheer me up. They would say kind words to me. But I was thinking that they were lying to me. I thought that they were lying, because it's a psychological thing. It's when you see yourself in the mirror and you see something totally different than what other people see. And then it drives you crazy and it causes you. So bulimia is an eating disorder where you overeat followed by self-induced vomiting or purging. That's what bulimia is. And that's what I had. I was overeating. I was indulging. And I was just over here. Then when I would finish, I would go and nobody would know. I would turn on the water, or I would turn on the water real loudly and whatever, and then I would try not to make noise when I was doing it so people wouldn't hear, you know. And then, you know, I would, you know, just flush the toilet and try to make sure that no residue was left over so nobody could realize that I was throwing up or whatever. And I was like, oh my God. And I had that for a long time. And, you know, then they was trying to put me on medication and stuff like that or whatever. And I'm like, I'm not getting on that stuff or whatever. And then over the years, it started to bother me. And then I said, you know what? I need to do something about this. And I started to get high cholesterol, high blood pressure. And I was like, whoa. So then I went to the doctors and I had to see a nutritionist. That was like the best thing that I could have ever done for myself was to see a nutritionist. And ever since that really changed my life. And I got rid of all meat, you know, like I said, all red meat, all meats and anything, you know, and I just changed my diet. I changed what I eat, and I do, and I fast. See, that's the key. I fast a lot. I do a lot of fasting, and I'm losing inches. A lot of my clothes be just falling off of me. When you fast, it helps eliminate those toxins, clean out your system. It's like a detoxing, and you need to fast every now and again, anyways, for your body. That's a sign. That's how you're gonna get close to the Lord. That's how you get to bond with the Lord. That's how you get closer to the Lord. You know what I'm saying? Healing. You get rid of diseases and sicknesses and things like that quickly when you fasting. Your body needs that, you know. And anyways, gluttony, overeating, overindulging, and then doing it, that's gluttony. That is a sin. That's a form of greed, and you're not supposed to give into it. That is a form of greed. It's a sin. It's in the Bible. It's a sin, and it can cause you to have it could become fatal. You know, because you're just damaging your insides. You're also damaging insides of your body. You're doing a whole lot of destruction and damage to your body. And we as people of God, our body is a temple. Our body is a temple, and we're not supposed to defile it. Being greedy, overeating, and then purging and vomiting that stuff up, that is defiling your temple, which is supposed to be holy unto the Lord. And so you're not supposed to be doing those types of things. Like it says in Proverbs, it says, Proverbs 25:16. If you find honey, eat just enough. Too much of it, and you will vomit. See, too much of anything, you're going to get sick. Too much of anything is going to cause you sickness. Too much drinking, too much eating, too much anything. Even too much sex. Hey, listen, it's not good for your body. You're defiling your temple, which is supposed to be holy unto the Lord. This body is the Lord's body. He that is greater in you than he that is in the world, he is in you. And this is his temple, and you're supposed to honor it. And when I was doing that, I was like, oh, and I was so jacked up mentally, emotionally, and a lot of people do things because they're either stressed out, they're, fearful. It causes comfort. Sometimes you overeat for comfort. Sometimes you overeat because you're trying to numb something that's going on with you. Sometimes you do this because you're fearful, And then people may overeat celebrating. You got to be careful when you're celebrating. Like Thanksgiving is about to come up. Y'all got to stop being so greedy and being glutton on these Thanksgiving, Christmases, Easters, New Year's, and all that stuff. Be mindful, be careful to not overeat. It says, eat just enough. Don't overindulge it. Don't overdo it. Eat just enough. Because if you don't, it's going to make you vomit. You can become sick. And again, you're defiling your temple. It's not godly. It's not of the Lord. It's not something you should do. And anything that you do excessively is a form of idolatry. If you're putting something more excessively and over the Lord, it is a form of idolatry. Anything you put above the Lord is a form of idolatry. You're idolizing that thing, idolizing that food, idolizing the drink, idolizing the sex, the smoke, the partying, people. No, that's a sin. Idolatry is sinful. So anything that we are doing excessively, overly, is a sin. We're supposed to do just enough. God gave us enough to be sufficient. It's sufficient. We don't need to be greedy. It's plenty enough for everyone. It's plenty enough to go around for everyone. You don't need to overindulge in it. You don't need to be greedy. You don't need to be gluttonous. It's a sin. It's not of God. And boy, oh boy, I tell you, and that is not also, if you're supposed to be women and of God, we're supposed to have the fruit of the Spirit. And self-control is a fruit of the Spirit. And when you're overeating or overdoing anything, you do not have control. You just don't have any control. And you need to get control. Self-control is a definite fruit of the Spirit that we must exude. We must have. We must hone it. That's important to keep us from doing things that are not good for us. That could also hurt us in the long run. That could become unhealthy. It is what it is. And I'm grateful that I'm thankful that I don't eat meats, that I eat my fruits and vegetables more than anything. I'm working out more. I'm getting more sleep. I'm getting more sunshine. It's a beautiful day. I'm about to go out and get this sun in my skin. And you got to change your mind. You have to change your thinking. That's what it means to repent, is to change your mind. Is to not do what you were doing before. To stop whatever it is you were doing that is unhealthy, that is no good for you, and then to do what's right. Renew your mind. We cannot be conformed to the world's ways anymore. If we are claiming to be women and men of God, the Most High, Yeshua, then we're supposed to be changing our minds. The Holy Spirit is supposed to be transforming us. That's what the Holy Spirit was left for, to transform us, to guide us, to help us along this journey. Because it's very hard. This path, this walk that we are in, is hard. And we need help. We can't do it alone. And anybody who thinks that they can, oh, how is that working out? How is that working out? You cannot do it without God's help. No, God's help is more than and better than and bigger than and greater than man. God can do things for you that man can't. That's why it's important to build and have a relationship with the Most High. Because He is going to guide you. He's the one who can show you how to navigate this sinful world. Because this world is full of sin, corruption, evil, hate, darkness. We are supposed to be the light of the world. And I am a light of the world. And I am doing the Lord's will. And I am coming to you guys, and hopefully you guys will understand that anything in excess is not of the Lord. It's glutton. This is a topic a lot of people don't discuss because, again, of shame, fear, embarrassment. People may not understand. But listen, like I said, this is my first time speaking on it. She was the first person I said something to. I brought it up. No one knew this about me. And now I am sharing it with the world because I am free. And whom the Lord sets free is free indeed. I am free. I am no longer bound by that lie, by the guilt, by the glutton. So I hope this message, was inspiring and helpful to someone out there. Seek help. See, I got help. I got help from the Lord. Yes, I went to the doctors. I sure did. The doctors help, but all they want to do is medicate. They want to do this. No. I didn't want the medications. That's why I went to the nutritionist. I said, let me see what the nutritionist can do for me first. I don't want y'all poisoning me and putting that stuff in my body. I want to see what the nutritionist is going to do. And then if the nutritionist doesn't work, then I'll come to you. Then I'll do that. But I didn't want that. And I'm so glad I went down the direction I went, because I no longer have cholesterol. I no longer have high blood pressure. My skin is better. I'm losing inches in weight. I feel much better. I'm not heavy. I'm not depressed. I'm not stress eating. I'm not binge eating. I'm very careful of what I put in my body. I fast more often than not. I find that I've been fasting, especially this year, 2024. I've been doing a lot of fasting in 2024. And that's a great thing. You need to fast to get closer to the Lord, so you can hear the Lord and He can tell you things. Then you can see things more clearly. Your focus is you can hear from Him. And it's a beautiful thing. It can heal you. Fasting heals. Whatever sicknesses and stuff you got, or diseases or illnesses or problems, fast. Give it to the Lord, and guess what? Watch your circumstances turn around. For the betterment. For the betterment. The Lord fasted. He was fasting all the time so that He can hear from God, His Father, so that He was able to know how to navigate the world to help the people in that time. Because He needed help too. And He needed help to keep Satan off His butt, because Satan was on His butt. And that's what you need to do too, so you can get Satan out of there. Get thee back, Satan. Bye. For real, that is the truth. Clarity, opening up your senses, high consciousness. I am so grateful that I am doing what I'm supposed to do. And I hope that you can do the same thing for yourself. Start. If you don't know how to fast, one day at a time. And fasting is not always sometimes just food. You can sometimes fast from social media. Fast from that phone. Put that phone down. Fast from TV. Fast from video games. Fast from people. Some people you got to get away from. And that's just the truth. Some people you got to be like, I got to stay away from you for a couple of days, a week, a month. It's the best thing that you can do. But I just wanted to share that with you guys. And I really hope that this blessed you guys. Okay. And yes, have a blessed day. Enjoy your weekend. And don't be greedy on these holidays. Okay. So I hope you have a blessed day. Take care. And until next time, I hope you enjoyed it. And if so, like this video. Comment. Share it if you feel like it. But I just hope and pray, give me some thumbs up. Like. But have a blessed day, guys. And until next time.